Namaste yogis, welcome. Thank you so much for watching. So for today's class, you're gonna need your chair, 2 or 3 blankets, and your pillow or bolster, and also have a strap handy. And actually, if you can keep your strap nearby so that you can get it while we are on Chair Shavasana. So we're gonna go ahead and prop ourselves up. If you need extra blankets to get your legs at a 90-degree angle, just go ahead and place them. If you have blocks available, they can also work for that. Scoop yourself as close to your prop as you can so that you can allow your hips to land right below your knees. Allow your shoulders to be grounded. And bring your hands by your sides. Draw your blades together and release. Close your eyes and take a couple of long, deep breaths. You want to bring the awareness to your feet and allow your toes and foot soles to be relaxed. Make sure that the top of the feet and ankles you get to feel. Sometimes you feel a breeze of air. Sometimes you get some tingling sensation. Just focus on the area and it right away talks to you. You'll notice. Then bring the awareness onto your lower legs, your shins, your calves. And move the awareness a little higher onto your knees and soften the knees, the front, the back of the knees. Pay attention if your thighs are still engaged and relax them as you take your next exhalation. Relax the back of your legs, your buttocks, and allow your hips to be heavy. The more you practice Chair Shavasana, the more you start noticing how balanced your hips and shoulders start getting. And don't worry if it's not. Sometimes you feel so balanced one day, and then depending what you have been doing, the rest of the day is what's going to show up the next day. But overall, as you continue to practice, you will notice that your joints balance a little bit faster, that your spine decompresses on the floor also a little faster. You want your lower back, mid back, and upper back on the ground. And so don't worry about the curvature of the spine. We will do more stuff during the class that will allow your spine to go back to neutral. For now, we just wanted to release. Feel the weight of your shoulders and your arms. Let them just relax. Your fingers curl naturally into your palms, no tension, no effort, just relaxation. Soften your neck, make sure that it's elongated but not flat on the floor. Soften your face, the muscles around your eyes. If your eyelids are closed, maybe you roll your eyes towards the forehead, making sure it doesn't burn or overly stretch. And you might get a sensation like if you were falling down. And that's just because we are sinking into the depths of the mind. Make sure your jaw is relaxed and you have a little bit of space between your teeth. To prevent your teeth from clenching, you can place the tip of the tongue at the space between your gums and the inside of your teeth. And just rest your tongue there. How are you breathing this morning? Is your breath short and shallow? Or perhaps as soon as you turn the awareness to the breath, you notice that it naturally elongates. If it doesn't, just keep observing it, and it will. And for a few moments, you're going to continue to breathe here on your chair Shavasana, just observing the breath. If you need to make any subtle adjustments, you're welcome to do that. I'll leave you to it. Watch your breath. Rising and falling. I trust that you guys can hear me. If not, you please let me know. I will be checking every now and then the comments. On your next breath, start expanding into the lower parts of your tummy, into your lower back. Exhale, let all the air go. Again, breathing in right into your tummy, into your lower back. Exhale, release. Next time you inhale, send the breath into your lower tummy, into the lower parts of your belly, and on your lumbar spine, your lower back, and then a little higher onto your chest, into your mid back. And when you exhale, release your mid back, your belly, and finally the lower parts of your body. As you breathe in, send all the breath down into your tummy, lower back, mid back, and this time carry the breath all the way up into your chest, your upper back. Expanding into your shoulders. And as you exhale, let your breath go from the shoulders, from the chest, and from your belly. Focus on the lower body, on the back body. Inhale into the lower back, mid back, upper back, shoulders. Exhale from shoulders, upper back, mid back, and finally lower back. We'll take 3 more breaths like this. When you finish with your 3rd breath, wiggle your fingers, move your arms out to the sides at a T position, and just pay attention how it feels once your arms go out. If you feel your rib cage is popping forward and you want to relax it again on the floor, relax your jaw, relax your face. Now keep your arms relaxed, but your elbows still extended. And on your next exhalation, bring your right arm up. As you inhale, bring your arm overhead. As you exhale, arm comes back up. And as you inhale, bring it out to the side, back to a T position. Exhale, left arm up. Inhale, left arm overhead. Exhale, arm back up. Inhale, back to T position. Exhale, right arm up. Inhale, arm overhead. Exhale, arm back up. Exhale, inhale, back to a T position. Think about contraction as you inhale, as your arm squeezes towards your armpit. Think about expansion as you inhale, as your arm moves away, expanding into your chest. Exhale, think about squeezing as your arm comes up, letting all the air out. And as you inhale, think about the expansion of your arm, go back out to the side. Continue alternating. On the exhalation, the arm comes up. On the inhalation, the arm goes overhead. As you exhale, your arm returns up. And as you inhale, bring it back out to the side at a T position. Find your rhythm. You're going to do one more round on each side. You started with the right arm, so when your left arm returns to the floor, relax and observe. Don't let your mind wander. Pay attention if your legs are engaged or your glutes and you want to let them go. Pay attention how your hips sit on the ground. If you feel crooked or you feel even. How about your shoulders? How about your jaw? Are you tensing your jaw or clenching your teeth? Can you let go of your facial muscles and smooth the space between the eyebrows? Inhale deeply here. And as you exhale, bring your arms both towards the sky. As you take your next inhalation, bring your arms overhead. Notice the movement of your shoulder blades. Remember, there is never a goal to touch the floor here. Don't let your ribcage pop forward. Exhale, bring your arms up. And on the inhalation, you return out to the sides at a T position. Keep your arms relaxed and try to create the movement right from your blades. The next time you exhale, bring your arms back up, overhead as you inhale. Exhale up. Inhale out to the sides. Find your rhythm. How much your legs and your glutes are trying to help your arms and shoulders. How much tension are you bringing to your arms and hands? Can you let go of them and still keep your elbows sort of extended? Keep your hands relaxed. Make sure this is not putting any tension on your neck, which, by the way, is extended yet is not flat on the floor. You might start creating a fluid motion that matches the pace of your breath. No goal of touching the floor, whether you bring your arms back or out to the sides. See if you can relax your arms a little more. Keep relaxing your legs and your glutes, your face and your jaw. Do you feel one shoulder blade working more than the other? Is that arm going a little farther than the other one, maybe faster? Can you slow it down a bit and match your non-dominant side? Last round. Finish your round, and when your arms go back out to the sides, release them on the floor and observe. Send your breath and awareness down to your feet. Observe your feet. Are they relaxed? How about your lower legs? Any sensations on your knees today? Do you have any involuntary movement going on along the legs? Maybe it's your upper legs. Are your glutes relaxed or are they still trying to help? Do you feel a little even on your hips? And how about your lower back? Is it flat on the floor? Usually by now you feel very grounded on your spine. Notice the sensations along your back. If there is one part of your spine that doesn't touch the floor, the next time you inhale, send your breath right into that spot and fill up that space with prana. So you're not pressing your back onto the floor, you're just expanding with your breath into that space. Exhale, let all the air go. This area is most likely that carries some tension, so let us breathe into that space. Inhale. Fill up the gap between your back and the floor if you find any. Otherwise, breathe all along the back. And exhale, let all the tension go. One more breath like this. Inhale deeply, close the gap with your breath. Exhale, let all the air go. Notice your shoulders being grounded. How about your arms and your hands? Is your neck relaxed? Or perhaps you're still putting some tension there. Some of us have that tendency, so make sure you adjust your head. That will change most likely the adjustment of your head. For some of us will change the whole alignment of the spine. So notice what your head is doing. You want your face parallel to the floor. One of the tendencies is to tilt the pelvis sideways, looking sideways. So paying attention if the nose is pointing straight up or to the side. And then with that awareness, keeping the jaw and the face relaxed, we'll take 3 more breaths here on Chair Shavasana. Breathing in, filling up from the toes, every corner of the body to the crown of the head. You can visualize the energy, rising energy of prana. When you exhale, grounding energy of apana from the crown of the head to the toes, let all the air go. Rising as you inhale from toes to crown. Falling as you exhale from crown to toes. One more breath. Rising. Falling. Wiggle your toes and fingers. Move your feet and hands. Gonna bring your blanket to the side, have it handy, and with control, move the chair out of the way. Be careful. If you need to come up to push your chair, that's fine too. And when you are ready, come back to center. Relax your hands, relax your legs, and observe your breath. And the moment your legs extend, you might get some sensation along the lower back, across the hips. So you do want to make sure that you adjust and tuck your tailbone, and then extend your legs once again, making sure that it's not putting any pressure here. If that's not enough, then keep your knees bent and your foot soles on the floor. You can also allow your feet to stay hip distance apart, and your knees, maybe let them relax at the center. Whatever works today, no right or wrong, just make sure it's suitable and breathe while you find that perfect place to stay. We'll take one more breath here, full deep breath. And when you are ready, bend your knees, bring your foot soles on the floor, and have your toes and your knees pointing forward. Allow your knees to have about fist distance apart. You can bring your big toes to touch and let your heels go slightly out to the sides, and then adjust your feet so your toes point forward. So then you will have more or less fist distance apart between the toes and the knees. Now when you are ready, keep your hands by your sides, press the tailbone on the floor and arch your lower back on the inhalation. Feel the space between the lower back and the floor and do your very best to press your rib cage down. Now as you exhale, press the small of the back on the floor and squeeze your bum, tuck your tailbone, don't lift your hips. Squeeze all the air out, press your navel onto the floor. Don't let your knees move in or out. Awesome. As you inhale, press your tailbone onto the floor, arch your back. So once again, you want space between the lower back and the floor. Release your rib cage on the ground. Maybe activate your feet, bring your toes up, maybe spread them wide. And when you're ready to exhale, press your lower back onto the floor. Squeeze your bum, tuck your tailbone, press the sacrum on the ground, press, 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 and inhale once again. So find your rhythm, and once you go into your arch, pay attention if you have the tendency to use the rib cage like I do, so very clear picture here, but then you release the rib cage onto the floor and feel the demand going right into your lower back. Then when you exhale, you press the small of the back, tuck the tailbone going onto a posterior tilt, squeeze your bum, keep pressing your back, no lifting the hips. And do 5 more, count your own. When you are done with your 5 pelvic tilts, you're gonna come back to center. Keep your foot soles on the floor, maybe rest your knees towards each other. You can keep your feet and knees fist distance apart, and breathe. On your next breath, take your strap and place it on the ball of the right foot. Extend your leg. And you want to give yourself enough length of the strap so that your arms are not reaching forward and we're not rounding our shoulders and our back. And instead, we keep the shoulders and elbows down. Now from here, you may bring your thighs together, so you want to have them at the same level. Keep flexing your foot. And you flex right from the ankle. So sometimes what we do is we still point the foot, but then we curl the toe. So we really want to make sure the stretch comes from the ankle to get it right from the Achilles tendon and all the way into, some of you will feel it all the way to the glute. So when you are ready, as you inhale here, press your tailbone onto the floor. Keep your rib cage down. And as you exhale, press the small of the back onto the floor, squeeze your bum, and press the sacrum down. Make sure that your shoulders are not trying to do the work. If you can, rest the elbows by your sides. Inhale, press the tailbone down. Keep your left foot active. Your left toes might be lifted. Exhale, press the small of the back onto the floor, squeeze your bum. 3 more for a total of 5. Inhale. Two more. Watch for your rib cage, especially if you know you have the tendency to flare the rib cage. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back to neutral. Now rotate your toes out to the right. And you can hold the strap with the right hand if you wish. If that, or your strap or your scarf, whatever you have to support your foot here. And we're gonna do again our 5 pelvic tilts with that outer external rotation of your hip. And as you inhale, press your tailbone down. Notice your pelvis, so try to press evenly your hips onto the floor. And exhale, press back, lower back down. So you might feel leaning towards the right, so try not to let that happen. We'll do 5 pelvic tilts, so 4 more. Rib cage down. So a lot of things to look for here. Make sure that none of these movements of the spine are upsetting your neck, because sometimes the compensation happens all the way to the upper body. Your left foot, it's still engaged, so you're still having your toes active, maybe lifted. Make sure you're pressing the left glute or the left side of your body as much as the right. When you are done with your 5 rounds, come back to neutral with your pelvis. Rotate your toes towards the left. You may hold the strap with the opposite hand. Watch for your hip. Your toes may not look they're pointing to the left, but you know you are internally rotating your hip. The way that's gonna look in your body, it's not important. You want to think about your thigh moving inward. So your kneecap and your toes need to be pointing on the same direction, regardless how deep your rotation goes. That's something to look for, because sometimes we get too attached to the picture and then we really want the toes to point in. And you can make that happen, believe me, but at the expense of your knee. So be super mindful of that. And once you find that place that is not torquing the knee nor the hip, then we do our 5 more breaths, pelvic tilt. So when you're ready, press the tailbone as you inhale. And the small of the back as you exhale. By the way, that rule of toes and knee pointing on the same direction applies for internal and external rotation of the hip. Depending what is prominent in you, the other one you will want to exaggerate it maybe so that you feel you're really going into that opposite rotation, but you will be. Just might not look like it is. When you're done with your 5 pelvic tilts with that inner rotation of your hip, bring your toes back to center and let go of the strap. Release your leg onto the floor and observe. Notice if there is any difference in the sensations on your right leg, your left leg. And maybe your right leg feels closer to the floor, maybe longer, maybe lighter. Now when you're ready, bend your knees, bring your foot soles on the floor. And once again, you're gonna have toes and knees pointing forward. Readjust your body on the floor if needed, and place the strap on the ball of the left foot. Extend your leg. And before we go any further, remember you want your thighs at the same level. So if you are super flexible. You might want to look like this, but we're not going to go there. Right foot is active. Your legs can go together or slightly apart, hip distance. So just check what works for you. You just want the thighs balanced here. Elbows might be down onto the floor. And with your toes pointing straight forward here or towards your forehead, if you like. Gonna do 5 pelvic tilts. As you inhale, arch your back. And as you exhale, press the small of the back, squeeze the bum. Let all the air go. 4 more. Inhale. Rib cage down. And exhale. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Next time you inhale, return to center and turn your toes out towards your left. You can hold the strap with your left hand. Remember, your legs are at the same level. And when you are ready, 5 pelvic tilts. Inhale, arching your back, pressing onto the right side so that you feel even. You tilt your pelvis even. And when you exhale, press down onto the floor. Maybe squeeze your bum. See if you can get right and engage those muscles. Inhale and exhale. 3 more. And when you are done with your 5 rounds, we're going to go into that internal rotation of the hip. So toes turn inwards towards the right. Hold the strap with the right hand. And once again, check in with your hip, with your knee, with your ankle. When you're ready, 5 pelvic tilts. We're working with the internal rotation of the hip, but you will feel the outer line of your hamstring, maybe your IT band. And when you are done with your 5 tilts, you're gonna release, come back to center, take your strap away, and then release your feet and your legs down. Hands by your sides, palms face up. We'll take one more breath, full deep breath. Now when you are ready, bend your knees, bring your foot soles on the floor, and maybe tuck your tailbone a little bit. Walk your feet mat width apart. Have your strap handy. And on your next exhalation, allow your knees to fall towards your left. And you're going to feel the stretch on the right hip flexor. You might get a little bit of demand on your lower back. You don't want to force that knee onto the floor, so make sure it feels right and your right shoulder stays on the floor. You can bring your knee higher. If you have a pillow, bolster, something that you want to put under that right knee, if you want that extra support, do that. The weight goes to the edges of your feet, so outer edge of your left foot, inner edge of your right foot, so that your knees and your toes still point on the same direction. Now, the next part of the stretch is reach your arms overhead. If that works for your shoulders, you stay here. If that's too much, T position is fine. So you will notice that if your arms go up, the stretch go a little higher. And so just play around with the position of the arm. Just don't overdo it. If you give your body the chance, the body will give you more eventually. Just don't force it right now. If it's not wanting to do something, it's fine. Just keep it. Now when you are ready, start hinging towards your left side, just a little bit, and hold onto the right wrist with your left hand. If that is a no thank you for your shoulders, you can also use your strap for extra support, and then you can still keep your arms shoulder width apart, but still move them, sorry for all the noise, and you can still move them towards the left and get that stretch. So playing around with the position of the arms, keeping the right shoulder on the floor at all times. Adjust your head so it suits your neck, and then breathe. Make sure your breath is flowing with ease. If your breath gets choppy, you are overdoing it, so make sure you adjust. We're gonna take one more breath here, full deep breath. With control, you can let go of the strap if you have one. Return to center with your shoulders. And slowly and mindfully bring your knees up, heel to your feet closer together, extend your legs, and observe. Notice how your breath shifts when you find your center. We're gonna work with the other side. So when you're ready, bend your knees, bring your footstools on the floor, and walk your feet mat width apart. Once again, at your own time, roll your knees towards the other side, now towards the right. The weight goes to the edges of your feet, and your arms will go anywhere that feels right for the shoulders. You may be holding onto the strap. Maybe move your body a little more towards your upper body, towards the left. These are only options. You don't have to. Oh. Did I do it backwards? I think I did. I think it's towards, yeah, it's towards the right. Like, I don't feel anything here. And breathe. Adjust your head so it supports your neck. Watch your breath. Don't let your mind wander. If your body's asking for an adjustment, please listen to it. Remember, you can have a prop under the left knee for extra support. Stay away from any torquing sensation, pinching sensation. This is the way your body's telling you, please don't go there. You know how we always talk about compassion in yoga? It starts with the asana, when the body is asking to please not do something, and then we just dismiss it because the mind is telling you, no, it needs to look this or that way. And so sensation is fine, and you feel the stretch is okay, but always being, kind to the muscles and joints. Otherwise, your nerves will make you pay for it later anyway. So we're gonna take one more breath, full deep breath. And when you're ready, you may let go of your strap, if you have one. Bring your upper body back to center and be mindful as you bring your knees back up. Roll the weight back onto the foot soles, heel to your feet closer together, extend your legs, relax and observe. And once again, once you find your center, notice how the center line of energy opens up, the Sushumna. So although we haven't been talking about energy today, we're still working with the lines of energy. So every time you close one side of the body and work with the other, when you find center, the breath just finds its flow once more. If you need any stretch right now, you're welcome to get it done. So maybe hug your knees and rock side to side, or go into a happy baby, or any stretch that feels good. And when you are ready, move onto your favorite side and lay on a fetal position for a few moments. Use your top hand to slowly help yourself up on your next exhalation. And find your seated position. Okay, good. I'm just checking that. Still good. So you want to take your blanket and fold it. If you have a block, you can have a block or two blocks and make a little slide with your blocks if you have done that in class. So you have a base and then you put another one on top. And actually, I just realized we can do the same thing with the blanket. So if you would like, you can have one blanket as a base and one on top to make your little slide to tilt your pelvis. Actually, I do like doing the slide with the blocks, so let's try this out, see if it does the same thing. Actually does the same thing. So you are welcome to do that with your blankets or your blocks if you have them handy. Then if you have your bolster and your other blanket free, have them around, have your strap around. And we're going to stabilize the pelvis, putting the mantle on the spine and your shoulders. All right. So if you find that crossing your legs is too much, you're going to take a bolster or a blanket and pad that your knee. And actually do that on your left knee if you need to, and extend your right leg out to the side. Bring your left foot sole against your inner thigh. And have your strap handy. All right. So from here, if this is too much for your knee, you're going to take the other blanket and place it, or the block, if you have another block, you can have the block, and place it under the leg. So this is going to prevent that hyperextension. Find your center, find your balance. We want to flex the toes and pay attention what your toes are doing. So many times when we are here, what happens is that the toes flare. Some of us have a prominent external rotation of the hip, and that it's going to show when your toes flare like that. Some of us might have prominent internal rotation, so it's easier for your leg to fall inwards. So we don't want either or. We want to stay neutral. For that, we allow the toes to face up. Flex your foot right from the ankle, so not just the toes, but the whole foot presses back. You'll feel the stretch on the Achilles, the calf, and activate your left foot and press it against your thigh. And here we are. Press your seat bones onto the floor or onto your blanket, whatever you are, so that you feel balanced. So the support under the knee is only if it feels right. For me, it's actually tilting me, so I will take it away, but it won't do the same thing for everybody. So watch it in your body. Now, same thing with the blanket. You don't necessarily want it there. If you have knee concerns, you do have that option. Then take your strap, rotate your torso towards that right leg, and you only are going to go to whatever your spine allows you without any pinching sensation. So if you kind of look towards the center, that's fine. Place the strap on the ball of the foot and give yourself enough length with the strap so that your elbows stay by your side and your shoulders are back and down. And then we stay here and breathe. Now, all we do without hinging or anything, all we do is we press the leg, the extended leg, onto the floor. Squeeze, engage your quad to wrap your knee with muscles. Flexing the foot, engaging the hamstrings, the calf, the Achilles. And then the other leg also presses down onto the floor and press your foot against your inner thigh. Activate your glutes if you can. See if they both want to activate. Shoulders away from the ears, breathe deeply. Now slightly tuck your chin and press the crown of the head to the floor. So super active body. Remember, don't worry how this looks like. You want to make sure that you put your props if needed. Breathe. When you are ready, on your next exhalation, maybe move your elbows back a little bit and pull yourself forward with your chest. Press your tailbone back, like if you were trying to have your pelvis into a posterior tilt. Your hamstring is not going to allow you for that. Elbows back, hinge forward, and breathe. Keep your shoulders pulling down. And to be able to do that, you want to engage your shoulder blades. So some of you might shorten your strap a little bit. If your elbows have gone forward, then now we're rounding the upper back. We don't want that. We want the blades engaging at all times and retracting. Find that place that works for you. Breathe. Elongate the back of the neck. Don't let your head collapse. Don't look up. Both legs are active. Glutes are active. You're pressing yourself down onto the floor. Crown of the head is pulling you maybe forward. And take one more breath here, full deep breath. And with control, as you inhale, come back up to an upright. And as you exhale, put your strap aside. Relax your posture and help that knee up. Place your hand on your knee, bring it up, and then forward. Extend your legs and shake the tension off and move side to side. And we stay here for a few moments while we switch our props the other way, the other side. So you may use the blanket or block under the extended leg, and we're going to do the same thing. And when you are ready, going to bring that, bend that right knee, bring it in. Left leg goes out to the left. Just comfortably. Remember, we're not overdoing anything. And then check in what will work for you. Patting the knee and the knees is always a good idea. If your hips and knees complain, readjust on your blanket. And before we go into this rotation, you want to press yourself down onto the floor and align this left leg. So you want your toes pointing straight up, Make sure that you're engaging your quad, that your knee is protected, there is not pinching. Balance the weight on left and right. Elongate the crown of the from the crown of the head. Elongate your spine. And when you are ready, you're gonna rotate your torso towards the left and maybe place the strap on the ball of the foot once again. And remember, we only rotate to the place where the spine allows. We don't go and twist and torque the back. Awesome. Remember, pressing back down onto the floor, breathing deeply. Shoulder blades are together, and we're just standing tall here. If your breath is choppy, you have gone too far, please adjust. Use your props. Awesome. On your next exhalation, very slowly and with control, hinge forward from your hips, leading with your chest. Draw your shoulder blades together, pull your elbows back a little bit. Keeping that foot active. So really your foot could stay there even if you didn't have the strap. So if your foot is relaxed and you're just flexing with the strap, and when you let go your foot relaxes, we're not doing much for the knee. So make sure that you are able to keep the flexion, that you're engaging your quad, that you're engaging your hamstring, and you're engaging your glutes, and that you're not hinging too deep. Some of you might shorten the strap a little bit, but keeping the elbows by your sides. We'll take one more breath, full deep breath. With control, as you inhale, very mindfully come back to center. And take your strap out of the way. Remember, we held that leg up, so place your left hand underneath the crease of the leg, bring it up, and then bring your legs forward, shake the tension off, and move side to side. Rotate your feet maybe. Awesome. We're going on to our knees, so you can have your blanket under the knees for tabletop position. Take your time to get there. We're still good. So we'll have about a fist distance between your knees, and you want to stack your joints. So your shoulders are right over the wrists. If you have any wrist concerns, carpal tunnel problems, or simply being on your hands right now doesn't work for whatever reason, you can stack your shoulders over the elbows instead. All right, so once you find your position, allow your tailbone to go up, drop your belly, and go onto a shoulder dip. So you want your chest to move down towards the floor. If you are on the elbows, it works the same way. We just kind of let the chest to go lower. Your palms can stay down, or you can allow your palms to face up. Check what feels better in your body. So for me, going on my hands feels much better, so I'll stay here. So remember, tailbone up, shoulder dip, and maybe let your head then go. Breathe. If letting your head relax down is too much, keep then the back of the head parallel to the floor. That's fine too. And just breathe. It's just like hanging out here. You want your tummy to be relaxed. Let it touch the floor. Put equal weight on your hands and make sure that you're pressing all of your knuckles onto the ground. Your pinkies are extended out to the sides, but not super extended that it hurts. You can hyperextend those, and we don't want that. Maybe move your head side to side if you're letting your head down, or even if your head is not down, see how that feels. Notice if you are engaging your tummy, and if you are almost in a half plank. So maybe your hands went too far and now you are holding yourself in half plank, and we are not doing that just yet. And breathe. We'll take one more breath here, full deep breath. When you're ready, bring the back of the head parallel to the floor. If you are on your elbows, slowly and mindfully push yourself up on your hands and start walking your hands towards the knees. And maybe sit back on your heels. Maybe that doesn't work for you, so find somewhere along this from here to the heels that works for you, and then rest your elbows back down. Stack your fist, forehead down. You can also prop yourself. You can put blocks or bolster on the seats if you like. Just find that place that will work. Knees are closer together. They can be about a fist distance apart. They can be wider if you want, but because we want to round the back, the closer you can have them, the better. And by mean you can, I mean you can, the closer you can have them, I mean without pain. We'll take one more breath here, full deep breath. And the next time you inhale, bring your hands under the shoulders. And as you exhale, push yourself up. We're gonna walk ourselves onto tabletop position. Now this time, you're gonna tuck your tailbone and flatten your back. Walk your hands forward, about one hand distance forward towards the top of the mat. Make sure that the creases of your wrists are parallel to the short end of the mat. Spread your fingers wide without hyperextending the pinky. Connect all corners of your hands, all knuckles are down, and the next time you inhale, shift your body forward so that your shoulders are right over the wrists. Micro bend the elbows, tuck your tailbone this time, draw your navel in, and breathe. You're pushing the mat away from you. When I say push the mat away from you, you know, in the first version we went into a shoulder dip and the shoulder blades went together. This time you're going to push away, hollow up your chest, and draw your shoulder blades away from each other. Remember to micro bend those elbows. Oh, and by the way, if you are not able to go on your hands, the same principle applies for your half plank. You can go on your elbows. So bad news if you thought that you could skip this one. I mean, you can, of course, but because of the hands. And we breathe deeply here. Micro bend the elbows if you are on your hands. Push the mat away, shoulder blades away from each other. Make sure that you're not letting the head relax here. Keep the back of the head in line with the spine. We'll take one more breath, full deep breath. With control, push yourself up on your hands if you're on your elbows and start shifting the hips back. Walk your hands towards you, and maybe this time you sit back on your heels. No toe torture today. Oh, we did that yesterday, but you didn't hear it, I think so. We're gonna rotate the wrist. No, I don't think. I know you didn't. Rotate your wrist both ways. Breathe and shake the tension off. And we'll do it again. Rotate and shake. We're going up. So no fancy way. Maybe curl the toes under, shift your weight back. And then when you're ready, extend your legs and put your blanket out of the way for now. Find your way to the center of your mat and find your way onto your Tadasana. So about a fist distance between the toes and the knees. Knees point forward along with the toes and balance your pelvis, pubic bone, and hip bones. Draw your navel in and pull it up. Engage your bum and keep your rib cage in. Bring your hands by your sides, palms face forward, close your eyes, slightly tuck your chin onto your chest. And once you find your position, you want to continue to draw the navel up. You want to continue to draw your pelvis into neutral so pubic bone, hip bones are balanced. Engage your palm and send the weight back to your heels. Some of us have the tendency to lean forward, to squeeze the toes, and we have this ski jumper position. And what happens is that we get into this anterior pelvic tilt, hinge in the back, moving the body forward, putting all this tension on the hamstrings, the calves, and the Achilles tendon. So to avoid that, we want to stack the joints to put the weight on the heels. Close and breathe. Close the eyes and breathe. Your legs are active. Squeeze your quads, lift them, and see if your kneecaps feel like they're pointing forward instead of collapsing at the center. And we're going to do a pranayama. My teacher used to call this one breathing against shoulder arthritis. So move slowly and move mindfully. Hands by your sides, palms facing up. And as you inhale, reach your hands up. When your fingertips are pointing towards the sky, reach higher and lift your ribcage away from the hips. You may not hold the breath, Kumbhaka. Remember, high blood pressure, eye pressure, being pregnant is a no-no for Kumbhaka. Now flip your palms down, out to the sides, top of the hands touch, and when you're ready, exhale, circle your arms out to the sides. This time your palms will face the back. Continue to internally rotate your shoulders so that the top of the hands end up touching your body. Your thumbs are pointing behind you and your pinky is towards the front. Now, again, flip your palms out. Inhale, reach up. When you are up, lift the ribcage away from the hips. Not forward, but up. Maybe Kumbhaka, remember, only if it works today. Palms touch. Flip your palms out. Otherwise, you could do this while breathing normally. And on your next exhalation, circle your arms back, out to the sides, until the top of your hands touch your body, palms away. And again, inhale, circle your arms, reach up. Lifting the ribcage away from the hips. Palms away, touch, exhale, circle as you internally rotate the shoulders. Maybe continue to do this at your own pace, closing your eyes. Notice if your balance is still there when you close your eyes. Full rotation of the shoulders. Feet are active, legs are active, glutes are active. Weight is still on the heels. Toes might be still lifted, maybe even spreading them out. Maybe not, that's okay. Just make sure that you're not gripping the toes on the floor. Feel all that good work on your diaphragm. Some of you will start getting some sensation at the bottom of the rib cage as you lift it away from the crest of your pelvis. Some of you might start feeling some sensation on your back body as you start expanding your lungs into your back. This is awesome work to cleanse your lungs, to strengthen your lungs. My teacher also used to say that when the lungs are full of breath, full of prana, then there will be no space for worries, sadness, depression. Last one. And when you finish, flip your palms forward, relax your shoulders, relax your toes on the floor, but don't let them tense. See if you can relax your muscles. See if you can still balance your weight on left and right. If you can still find your center of gravity without having your glutes active, without having your legs active. Can your back stay neutral? Or as soon as you relax your glutes, your back goes right into the tendency. So see if you can start training your body to keep its alignment without the overcompensation, without the over-engagement. See if you can still find your balance by using gravity and not your muscles. We do that very often with, all the time with Japanese meditation. Now we're gonna do it with the whole body. If you don't feel safe, go by the wall, that's okay. Now your palms are facing forward. This is to externally rotate the shoulders. See if you can relax your hands to face your body, but keep your shoulders rotated out. Don't let them roll in. Notice if that works for you. Relax your tummy. And when you inhale, tuck your chin onto your chest, blink your eyes open, bring your gaze forward, relax and shake the tension off, and we're going down to the floor, no fancy way. So to sit back, remember you can sit on your slide if you want. I'm gonna sit cross-legged maybe. In any way that works for you. Roll your shoulders back and down, palms face down for a few moments, grounding ourselves. Press the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Slightly tuck your chin, and just like we did on the series where we were sitting, you want to press the parts of the body that are touching the floor. Press them down. Slightly engage your glutes. Draw your navel in, gently pull it up. Keep your shoulders over the hips and press the crown of the head towards the sky. Bring your thumbs and index to touch and curl your fingers into the palms, the rest of the fingers into the palms. You can keep your hands on your knees. Depending how you're seated, you can put it on your thighs, or you can bring them to the creases of your legs to ground you right from the hips. Relax your shoulders, relax your breath. Shinmaya Mudra will help you to elongate your exhalations, getting your heart rate down, and slowing it down. And after all that work that we did with the lungs, longer exhalations just allows us to cleanse the lungs even deeper, expelling all the stuff that we don't need anymore. Now, just like we did while on Tadasana, on the mountain pose or standing position, see if you can relax your legs without getting any pinching sensation on the knees. See if you can relax your glutes and still be able to stack your joints, your shoulders over the hips, and keep your spine upright so your core stays semi-engaged, not too intense, but enough that you can find elongation of the spine. Once you have your position, if you're comfortable here and you would like to stay a little longer working with your mudra and pranayama, you are welcome to do that. Otherwise, we'll take 2 more breaths here. You may keep your eyes closed as you release your mudra. Wiggle your fingers, extend your legs and shake the tension off. And find your way onto your back, laying down on your Shavasana. As always, if you want a bolster under the knees, you are welcome to get that set up. And from here, find your way onto your butterfly position. Bend your knees, bring your foot soles on the floor, and then allow your foot soles to touch while your knees flare. Butterfly position can be done with props, so you can place blocks or blankets under the knees, or if you have your bolster, then you will be supported. Very mindfully on your next exhalation, bring your knees up. And as you inhale, extend your legs and relax on your Shavasana. Relax from toes to crown of the head. Scan your body. If you find spots of tension, spend some time here sending your breath to that area, and then when you're ready, exhale, letting all the tension go. If you need more Shavasana time, you can pause the video and stay as long as you need there. And when you're ready, you can continue to close our practice together, maybe. Otherwise, we'll take 2 more breaths. And when you are ready, wiggle your toes and fingers. Stretch your arms overhead, flex or point your feet and squeeze every muscle. Tight, tight, hold, stretch, squeeze. Exhale, release. We'll do it again. Stretch and tense and squeeze. Tight, 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 hold, hold. And exhale, release. Last one, make it count. Inhale, squeeze and tense and stretch. Tight, tight, tight. And let all tension go. Move onto your side when you're ready and take a few moments once you get there. Check in with your body, with your breath, with your mind. And use your top hand to slowly help yourself up. And on your next exhalation, come up to a seated position. Use your props if you like. Any cross-legged position that will work well for you today. Bring your hands together at the center of the heart in Namaste position. Relax your jaw, relax your face. We're going to seal our practice with the sound and vibration of Om. We'll take a breath together first. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale to Om. Inhale to the top of your lungs. Side out. Again. Side out. Last one, inhale. Let all tension out. Tuck your chin onto your chest and blink your eyes open. Rub your hands together. Get all those good vibes all around you. And remember to use that energy to shake off whatever it is that you don't need anymore. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day. Namaste, yogis.